guys and welcome to today's video. Today I'm trying out quite a lot of new makeup, skincare, just trying out a few bits that have come in and have really excited me. Actually, I think there's been some really nice launches in the UK. I do think this is going to be a little bit heavier with some brands because they sent me a lot of makeup. I am so excited and I think there's some really interesting and exciting brands in here. I need to actually clip up my hair. But before we do get started, I just want to say hi. My name is Sabrina. I upload largely beauty and fashion content on here. I also share some grocery hauls, I share vlogs, kind of a few other things as well. So if it does sound like something you'd be interested in, please don't forget to subscribe. How do people make these look cute? I don't know, maybe up here. I have got a fake tan on my face. I don't have nail polish on, please excuse that. I need to basically work out what the hell I'm doing with my nails. I cut them today. Maybe I want to put on some press-ons because they're quite fun at the moment, or maybe I want to get them done. Let's start with skincare. I did put on a bit of skincare a bit earlier. I'm going to put on a little bit more because I fake tanned yesterday. In particular, my skin is a little bit dry. This is the Inkey List Hyaluronic Acid Serum. I am kind of new to Inkey List. I'm really enjoying it though. I think everything they do just seems really interesting. It's very affordable. For example, this packaging for the hyaluronic acid, it explains how it's said, which I think is great. It says it's best used for everyone, great, and it explains what it does when you use it. I honestly think Inkey List has come about. They've been about for a few years now and really revolutionised skincare. So I'm really looking forward to trying more. I've heard lots of people saying that this hyaluronic acid is their favourite product from Inkey List, and Inkey List is such a well-loved brand. So I'm just gonna press this in. Oh, it's a tiny bit tacky, I would say. Maybe slightly tackier than my other hyaluronic acids, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing. I do think I might do a whole video on Inkey List, so if that is something you'd be interested in, let me know, because I think there's a lot to say. For example, it's a B Corp, which is basically a really difficult to get accreditation that shows that they are sustainable, which is something I really do look for as much as possible. I don't think all the brands here are sustainable, they're definitely not. It's great when brands are, and especially when they're great and I can add them into my routine. Then I'm going to use the Sculpted by Aimee Cloud Cream. I have used this quite a few times actually. You might actually be able to see I've used a fair amount. This is one of the few products that I'm going to use and talk about in this video that I've already used before. I really like this. I think it's a really nice cream. I don't necessarily think it's going to change your life. Oh, I think I applied a bit much, but I do think it is very nice. I really like a rich, thick cream. If you don't, then maybe this isn't for you. But honestly, I think this isn't an overly greasy cream. So even if you are kind of like normal to oily, I think you'd probably just about get away with this. And it has ceramides in it to help moisturize as well. Oh my god, and they refill. I had no idea. Oh, this is so good. But look at that. You just buy a new little pot and slide it into your container. That is great. That is what we love to see. A new product from the Inkey List is their polyglutamic acid dewy sunscreen. This is SPF 30. I actually went for the launch of this and I think it's actually SPF 43. It's in the 40s, but basically they've said 30 because at least that way people are slightly more covered, and they think it's less than it is, so they're more likely to apply more, which I think is great. Again, it explains where you use this in your routine, which I love. It even encourages you to like cut that out and keep that so that you can recycle the rest but keep the important information. This is their first SPF and it works well as a primer, somewhat of a hydrator. I think if you've got quite dry skin like I do, it's probably not quite enough, but maybe for like an average, slightly oilier person, this might be just about enough. I have used this. I do like it. I don't know if I think it's game changing. I'm not sure yet. I need to see. I need to try it a bit more. But I'm gonna apply this. Oh, also, it doesn't leave a cast, which is obviously very important for darker skins. If you're fair like I am, not as important, but obviously it's very important for brands to be inclusive, so great to hear that. That has actually added a little bit of extra glow over the moisturizer. I would typically apply it down to my neck, but my top's A, quite covered, and B, I'm indoors, so I'm not going to, is what I mean. So now onto base. I am very excited for the brand that I'm going to use a lot from, and that is Kosas. They are a Los Angeles based brand, and Kosas has just launched in the UK in March. They are available on Space NK, they're available on Cult Beauty, they're available in Sephora. I haven't been to the new Sephora, by the way. Has anyone been? Just going to Stratford is not appealing to me. I'm really looking forward to using this. I've actually used a concealer, which I'll talk about in a second, but haven't tried tried the foundation. I believe there's only one foundation, and that is the, at least in the UK, and that is the Revealer Skin Improving Foundation with SPF 25. I have the shade 200, which makes this the 10th lighter shade. It's got an expiry date on the bottom, which I don't think you see often, and I really like the idea of that. And I was colour matched, but I had fake tan on then, but I also have fake tan on now, and with fake tan, you just never know if you're going to be like a little bit darker or a little bit lighter. I am going to start with one pump. Yeah, let's start with one pump, but I do think that won't be quite enough because I'm using a sponge which naturally absorbs it a little bit. I also don't have a mirror, so I'm going to open up this little Kiko blush palette, which I think maybe I'll use, we'll see. I don't actually typically start with foundation as I do my makeup. I also think one pump isn't quite enough. I'm going to do one side of my face, which just so you can see exactly what the finish is like. I'm going to try and keep it quite light because I'm going to go in with concealer. I just think that offers a much nicer finish when you do a lighter foundation. Sorry, a lighter as in a less heavy foundation, and then a bit more concealer. This side is done, and actually I think that is really impressive. It is a light to medium coverage. You can really still see like this little pinkness in my skin. Compared to this side, it's far less pink. I also think this looks really hydrated, happy, glowy, whereas this side kind of looks less so. And you can't really tell that I've got foundation on. Maybe slightly on my nose, but I think it's just because it's like the middle of my face, I'm only applying it to one. I think it makes it slightly harder to blend. That might be a really, really beautiful foundation. Just want to make sure you can see. Okay, so I'm going to finish that, add one more pump, apply to the other side as well. So that's the foundation, I'm very happy with it. But before we move on, I don't know if I mentioned, I think I did though, there are 36 shades of foundation, which is great. So out of the 36, I'm placed at about 10. I am quite fair, so clearly there's a lot of fair shades before me. I do think the dark is dark. I don't think it's as dark as it could be and as it should be. I know a lot of people who are that little bit darker than that shade, and I really hope that that's something that kind of gets developed. I'm now going to go in with the Kosas Smolder, what do they call this? 10-second eye cream shadow. I do typically go for a primer, but today, honestly, I can't just go get a primer upstairs. So we're going to see how this goes on. Hopefully it doesn't crease too much. So I'm just going to tap that on and then just blend that out a little bit. Again, they have a lot of different shades in the shadows, but I think they're probably quite good. But I think a lot of brands do quite good shadows, but I am really, really into cream eyeshadows at the moment. I have been for a while, and just like a one colour eye look. I might at the end put a little bit under my eyelid on my bottom lash line, but I have to do my concealer and stuff first. This is quite liquidy. It's very liquidy. This was a bit liquidy, I think. It kind of caught me off guard, so I feel like this eye has a lot of product on it. I do also find that often, I can't remember, that's ridiculous. Oh, I know what I was going to say. I do often find that with this sort of product, you kind of buff it away, which is really annoying, but I wouldn't say that's happened here. Really, really lovely colour, kind of nice, but not too like in your face. It has like a sheen, doesn't look like I'm wearing tons of eyeshadow basically. We'll have to see how that wears. And then I think the piece de resistance, did I say that? From Kosas is the concealer. I have tried this. I think it's worth the hype, guys. I really, really do. This is kind of what I've wanted every concealer ever to be, and it's just not. Like, this is what I wanted NARS Creamy Concealer to be, but it's like NARS Creamy Concealer is way drier than this. This is kind of, in terms of like not being dry, kind of similar to Glossier, but it's not really. It's a very different consistency. But I'm just going to apply a little bit, because I do think a little goes a long way. I'm going to do a little bit around my nose, just kind of everywhere. Maybe even slightly here, because I have a tiny bit of redness there. Can you kind of see this side compared to this eye? I mean, I know it's got concealer on it, but it's not got it blended out. I just think that is really lovely. I've got a powder from Kosas to apply after this, but weirdly, it's not with the rest of the products. So I'm really worried that it's gone into the recycling, because it was like a flat product, so maybe I missed it. I mean, it's not far. I mean, honestly, love that. I always have slight issues around my nose though, I would say. I don't think that, I mean, that is still quite good. This is what I want how dewy I want my makeup to always be, but it's not. Now for a little bit of powder, mainly just under my eyes and around my nose. I might go in again at the end. Ooh! Oh no, I put my nail in it. Oh, that's so disappointing. Oh, okay, this is... This is the Kosas powder. Mine now looks like this. I'm gonna try and use a little bit anyway. It definitely fell. But my jeans are covered in it and I need to hoover. And probably have to throw it away. So sad, I was so excited about that. I don't know if there's a comment on the powder itself or a comment on the user, because I definitely stuck my nail in it and then it fell. I'm gonna have to get my hoover. Okay, so then I'm going to try this Kiko Powerful Love Romeo and Juliet palette. It has like these two really beautiful shades. I am going to go for this like darker one just because it looks scary, so I want to give it a go. Oh, I feel like I've brought this a bit too far in, but we're just gonna roll with it now. I really like that actually. I did not think I would. It's quite a scary looking colour, but once blended, I think that is a really beautiful colour. Brows, again, let's go Kosas because I have them and I haven't tried them. The brow gel I have in the shade medium brown. My brows are not really a medium brown colour, but I find that any darker gives me like a really over the top scouse brow. Gives off a lot of product. I definitely need to give them a little brush out because they look quite intense. Really excited about that powder. But with the brow pencil, it's called Brow Pop Jewel pencil. I'm going to add just a couple of little strands to the front of my brows. Oh, I'm just having a mare. And now squash this. There does seem to be like very little brow product in this. Maybe like comically little. I need to compare it to another brow pencil, but I think that's really very low. To finish, I'm going to curl my lashes, which honestly is something I've kind of stopped doing. I think partly because in summer I got my lashes lifted, so I got a lash lift, and then I like in that process misplaced my eyelash curlers. I do find a lash lift lasts a fair amount of time and never got around to looking for my eyelash curlers. I definitely need to go back to them. This is the L'Oreal Telescopic Lift. I do not know if this is new, but I think the Telescopic is a great mascara if you do want like really long lashes. I generally am more of a volume gal. I say that all the time, but it doesn't mean I don't think it's a good mascara, and it definitely serves a purpose. It's a really unusual brush with mascara and without. I do like it. I don't think it's my favourite at the moment, but I really think that with mascara you can't tell, and 9 times out of 10 they get better with time. I mean, obviously a reasonable amount of time. I'm not saying that in 4 years time it'll be better. With these sort of mascaras though, you have to be very mindful of how you hold them because of the shape. And that is that. I'm not going to do another coat. I just don't want to today, and I'm going to finish with a little bit of gloss, again from Kosas. I don't know about this packaging, not my favourite. The rest of it are quite, I don't know, actually kind of their packaging is a bit out there. I haven't really like had a chance to think about it. The packaging doesn't look that luxe, I don't think. Oh, this does smell nice though. It smells like biscuits. And this is the shade Revealed. I do think like a little bit of eyeshadow under my lash line would look nice, but honestly we're done now. I think there are some real gems here. I think in particular the mascara and the concealer, wait, chef's kiss, and I'm just actually very happy with that. But I really hope you enjoyed that and found it useful and informative. If you did, do like this video, subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Let me know what you'd like to see next from me. If you'd like a whole video on Inkey List, which I'm very tempted to do, or maybe even a whole video on Kosas. I mean, I have tried pretty much all the products I own, but maybe you want more of an in-depth review of all the products. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you very soon. Bye!